your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Here's something I don't think I knew this, okay? And I'll run this by you to see if you knew this. The Southeastern Conference has fined both Vanderbilt and Arkansas. Their fans stormed the field. That seems to be that's the norm now for teams to get fined. Arkansas was fined $250,000 for its storming of the field over then number 4 Tennessee. Future offenses will cost it $500,000. Vanderbilt is a first-time offender, Jamie. So they haven't beaten a number 1 team ever, and they did that on Saturday over Alabama. They also tore down their goalposts. The fans then took them to the Cumberland River, which is 2.5 miles away from the stadium. That's a long route. That's a long route. The TV station showed helicopter coverage of it all going down the street, and that was pretty cool. They threw it in the river, and now Vanderbilt has retrieved it thanks to the Metro Nashville Fire Department, and they're going to auction off pieces of it, which is, that's cool. I like that.
I think it would have been cool if they left it in there too, though.
Well, they took it out.
It becomes a boating
issue. Okay. It's not deep enough. I got you.
They took it out to keep it from becoming a hazard.
Yep, makes sense.
What I didn't know is the fines are paid to the opposing school.
I did not know that either.
So the rich get richer because, does Alabama really need $100,000 from Vanderbilt? Maybe it goes to their NIL fund.
I mean, in fairness, Vanderbilt needs the money for a new goalpost.
Right. I'm sure somebody stepped up and paid that.
And let's be honest, the athletic director and
sure.
president and everybody at Vanderbilt is happy to write that check.
Absolutely. Same thing probably with Arkansas. I mean, that was a huge win for them to beat number 4 Tennessee.
Yeah, it's kind of sad for Arkansas. I mean, that's been a historically great program. Mm-hmm. It seems a little, I bet you old-time Arkansas fans are like, that's kind of weak that we're now having to do that against Tennessee.
I think some Chuck Heinz is standing over there on the east side going, what are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's fun. Those kids in those moments having fun and,
absolutely.
And a big celebration, all that good stuff. But there's probably a little bit of, we shouldn't have to do that for Tennessee.
Yeah, I get it.
But again, like I said, I'm happy for that group of kids having fun. I mean, you just can only do that so often, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't be ruining property all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
top 5 win seems pretty good, but
yeah, it'd be hard to get it out of our place now with the way that it's. The tunnels are narrower today than they were when they came down against A&M the 2 times. And then that bodes this question: is there anybody in the Big 12 today, there's nobody on your schedule left this year that you'd go, that's goalpost worthy tearing down?
No, nobody in the conference.
Yeah,
I don't think.
I
would be embarrassed if we did it against TCU or Baylor, right? Mm-hmm. Those are, or Oklahoma State. Those are what I would call our rivals in this conference, and that would be embarrassing if we did that.
And if you kind of
because that's giving them too much respect.
Yeah. Because even if you look into the future, would you go, okay, so if Utah's ever number 1 or? Maybe.
Well, we'll have to see, but I wouldn't guess so. But
yeah, I just don't think there's anybody. I don't think there's anybody today on your schedule that you would do that against.
Well, at this point, and this is kind of I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. When you're sitting at the top of the conference, you're the one that people take the goalpost down for, and that's where we are as we currently sit today. So
right now, yes.
That could absolutely change in 2 weeks. Don't get me wrong, but as we sit today, we're the ones that people like. If Baylor wins, they should try to take down the goalpost, except it's ours, and they're not allowed to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because TCU's not tearing down goalposts if they beat you. Iowa State's not tearing down goalposts if they beat you. And same thing with Oklahoma State. I don't know that there's really anybody in the conference at this point in time that if they were to win at home this year against said school that they would tear down goalposts. Which, I guess you kind of look at the Big 12 right now, and there's a lot of parity, right? Which is good for the league.
It's entertaining for the fans, I think.
Yeah. So on any given day, anybody can beat.
I don't know
anybody.
that it's good for the league.
Would you like to see a dominant team?
I think the league would want that, wouldn't they? Wouldn't they want a team that is in national
How many years did we hear
and all that good stuff? Wouldn't they rather have some top-heavy teams that are going to be in the playoff, whether or not they win the Big 12 championship?
How many years did we hear the Big 12 was down because Texas was down? We still had an undefeated team, but it wasn't Texas or Oklahoma, so it was a down year.
Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to what I'm weighing in my mind is, the NFL for years has. I mean, there have been dominant teams, and there's teams that have controlled but there's been a lot of parity within the league too, and that's helped the league thrive, decade after decade after decade, and part of that's because of the television money getting distributed evenly and the salary cap, and then it comes down to how well do you draft, how well do you develop, and there's always going to be some luck involved in terms of this player does better than what you think, and this team does better than what you think. I hear what you're saying. I guess I kind of look at this and go, well, in any given year, theoretically, anybody could be a dominant team. Now, the problem is that if you win all your games, so let's say somebody in the Big 12 were to go 12-0, are they going to be considered a top 5 team? Is the league strong enough that if somebody goes 12-0, they're going to be ranked 3rd in the country or 2nd in the country?
Yeah, just it would depend on the year. I would like to think yes is the answer to that, but I don't think there's a guarantee of that.
Yeah, no, I don't either. I don't
think if it was this year, it would be that way.
No, I don't either. I think I would agree with you on that. 6:40 this morning on the morning drive. This day in sports history is next, and a lucky local one word about 11 minutes away here on Double T 97.3.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
It is time for this day in sports history. Today is October the 8th, 2024. Here is Jeff McGuire with this day in sports history.
Yeah, sorry, we had a snafu and my idiocy and deleted the wrong file. So now it's going to sound a little bit more like it should. Okay, my apologies. 1927, Baseball World Series. Gee, I wonder who won.
27 Yankees were pretty good.
I'm just saying. They beat the Pittsburgh Pirates 4-3 at Yankee Stadium for a 4-0 series sweep. 1956, Yankees pitcher Don Larson throws a perfecto as New York beats the Brooklyn Dodgers 2-0 in Game 5 of the World Series at Yankee Stadium.
And the iconic scene is Yogi Berra jumping into his arms.
And I think, and Jamie can correct me on this if I'm wrong.
I wasn't there.
No.
27.
At Yankee Stadium, Don Larson's and Yogi Berra's statues are 66 feet apart.
I think that's
like it's their celebration of that they're for the perfect game.
60 feet apart.
Yeah.
I think that's right. I think I've heard that story before, but I don't know that to be. I don't know for certain. I think I've heard something like that. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But that it was done intentionally for that moment. Yeah. 1975, San Antonio Spurs, then members of the ABA, beat the NBA's Atlanta Hawks 109-107 in the first basketball game ever played in the Louisiana Superdome. 1995, Dan Marino breaks Tarkinson's NFL career completions record. In 2005, a fumbled pick by Nebraska leads to a number 15 Texas Tech 10-yard fourth down touchdown pass with 12 seconds left for a 34-31 victory over the Cornhuskers.
Nice.
Also in 2005, NHL great Wayne Gretzky, known for scoring an awful lot of goals, gets his first win as a coach as the Phoenix Coyotes beat the Minnesota Wild 2-1 at the jobbing.com arena in Phoenix.
I do not remember Gretzky being a coach. I do not remember that at all.
Yeah.
It was short. I want to say it was like 3 seasons, 2 seasons, something like that.
Wow.
And in 2018, New Orleans quarterback Drew Brees becomes the NFL's all-time leader in passing yards, as he needed 201 yards to pass Peyton Manning's record, getting 363 and 3 touchdowns in the Saints' 43-19 win over the Washington Redskins at the Superdome. And I think this is the one where we get the reply video from Peyton Manning where he's in the kitchen cutting up vegetables. And it's, Brees broke one of my records? Which one? Oh, passing yards? Okay. I still have touchdowns, though. Okay. So, and you remember it was him congratulating him in true Peyton Manning fashion?
Yeah, I do not remember that.
Yeah.
That sounds funny, though.
Not going to lie. Today's food is one I'm a huge fan of, but I can't remember the last time I had it. Happy National Fluffernutter Day.
I don't know what that is.
It's a combination peanut butter and marshmallow fluff sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember the last time I had marshmallow fluff, let alone a nutter fluffer.
I've never...
But...
A fluffer nutter.
Fluffer nutter.
You said nutter fluffer. That seems like something completely different.
You a fan of that?
I'm not a huge fan of marshmallow, so I would never use that whatever spread, that marshmallow spread. Yeah, I've never tried that.
How about like on those?
The only time I ever eat s'mores is, and I can eat one s'more at a time. Really, I don't usually double down with those, and then whatever it is they call marshmallows that are in Lucky Charms.
Those are marshmallows, but
magically delicious.
They're not marshmallows.
Yeah.
They're
I actually
delicious.
like the other part of Lucky Charms better than the marshmallow part.
The cereal grain thing?
The stuff that looks like cat food. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually really like that. Yeah.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Nick Cannon, who is 44, Matt Damon, 54, Sigourney Weaver, 75, Chevy Chase, 81, and The Miz from the WWE is 44. And on this day, in 1957, a singer and musician was trying to get a boost from the same studio that helped Elvis in dealing with the dilemma. He was playing rock and roll, and his good Christian upbringing in the Assemblies of God Church were in conflict. He argued with the Sun Records executive Sam Phillips that he can't record rock and roll because he had the devil inside him, and that the devil can't save souls like Phillips had said that he could do. Hours go by, and at some point, he finds peace with rock and roll and in the church. Using some profane language to Phillips that was recorded on the recording masters, basically saying that he was ready to go and asking if Phillips was ready to go, he energetically sat down at his piano and laid down the track that he would be known for the rest of his days. The singer was Jerry Lee Lewis, and the song was Great Balls of Fire, recorded on this day, 1957, and that is this day in sports history.
How about that? All right, it's time for your lucky local winning word from Double T 97.3 in the home zone, making your house a home. We do this every morning during the week at this time, 8:45 and 4:45 in the afternoon when available. You have to go to doublet97.3.com, enter this word I'm about to give you. More times you enter, the more chances you have to win. It's not a local contest. It's not a national contest. It is a local contest. So we're giving away the money to people that stumble around here in town, just like us. We'll give away a final $2,500 at Two Docks on Thursday, December the 5th. It's a cash giveaway from the home zone, making your house a home, and Double T 97.3. And on this, this is an appropriate team name today on this particular version of our lucky local winning word, Padres. Padres. The Padres and the Dodgers are tied up at a game apiece in their division series. Padres will try to take a 2-1 lead tonight. Padres, 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 your lucky local winning word here at 6:52. A couple things on the Don Larson perfect game on this day in history. He only needed 97 pitches, Jamie.
It's good.
Yeah, it's pretty efficient.
Yeah, I mean, if you're throwing a perfect game, you're not walking a lot of guys, so you
Right.
would think that pitch count would be down.
Yeah, and I think
You're not walking any guys, actually, to be.
And the only one Dodger batter, and this was in the first inning, was able to get to a 3-ball count, and that was Pee Wee Reese. The other note on Larson is, of all the guys that played in that game, he was the last living player for either team until his death on January the 1st, 2020, at the age of 90. So he outlasted all of them at the very end. Okay. Mickey Mantle had a home run in that game. So, I mean, it's a lot of...
some stars.
A lot of stars. A lot of stars.
Were being stars.
Stars were being stars, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what you want. I mean, these big games, right? In the playoffs, you want your stars to shine, and they did. 6:53 this morning here on the Morning Drive. So I was listening to Cowboy Hour last night on my way home, and one thing that Brad Sham said that really stuck out to me, and remember, Brad Sham, he's been around this team for decades and decades and decades. And it's obviously been quite some time since the Cowboys had the ultimate success. But he said something. He said that win on Sunday night was one of the guttiest wins that he has seen with the Cowboys.
Okay.
And I just thought, of all the wins that he's seen,
time to start checking on Brad. He's starting to lose it a little bit.
You go back to Aikman and Staubach and others. For him to say, that's one of the guttiest ones. I mean, it was a gutty win. There's no question about it. 6:54 this morning here on the Morning Drive.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
7:15 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Thanks for being with us. Jamie will have a question for us at 7:30 this morning. We'll have the high school fan zone on the air for you tonight. Monterey and Lubbock High coaches, those two teams will battle against each other on Friday night for the battle for the Spurs. I hope they know where they are. Because it's been a couple years since they've played. I suppose they probably got them in a good spot, don't they?
I don't know, but I would assume so.
You assume so. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so they'll maybe the Monterey coach, maybe Coach Thrash will bring them tonight just to kind of show them off a little bit. That'd be cool. I mean, wear them even. Did you ever wear Spurs? No.
You just wasted breath, man.
Don't you kind of say that
I've
every
never
day?
worn boots. I've never worn a hat. I've never worn Wranglers. I've never worn a big belt.
I did not know that you'd never worn Wranglers. Okay.
Yeah. Anything else we could check off the list?
No.
No. I've never spit in a cup. I've never,
spit in a spittoon.
I've never had a holster with a gun in it.
Okay.
I've never, I don't know.
Would you ever?
Never said ding. Never yelled yeehaw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have ridden a horse.
Okay, that's good. Okay.
All right.
I mean, the yeehaw thing feels like a missed opportunity, though, because that can be used almost anywhere.
Right.
I did slip and accidentally, I don't say accidentally, just said y'all once a couple weeks ago.
I heard that.
Yeah.
I think that was shocking, to be quite honest with you.
May or may not have made a promo out of that.
It was really weird.
Yeah.
But it happened, so it was great.
Yeah.
It
was natural. It was organic. Yeah, right. All those things. All right, so Monterey Lubbock High coaches tonight, we'll have them. The only time that I've actually seen somebody wearing Spurs, I was on a flight once from like Salt Lake to some town in Montana, where Montana State is, wherever their city is, and I was going up there on business. And this real live working cowboy got on the plane wearing Spurs, and that probably wouldn't happen today. This is before
they wouldn't let him wear the
probably
Spurs.
Probably not. But this is before 9/11. But yeah, I was like, whoa, there's a real cowboy right there. I didn't say anything to him. I just kind of One of those rare
Probably
times.
smart of you.
One of those rare times I just kind of just stayed in my seat and didn't comment or ask questions or things along those lines.
Like when you said Joey Maguire's his handlers or whatever, they look like real sheriffs or whatever you said. What did you say that
They
day?
look like real. Yeah, they're Texas Rangers. Right?
Yeah, they look like real Texas Rangers or something. Maybe because they are.
They are, right? Right, they are. They're real Texas Rangers.
You think people look at us and go, those two look like real radio hosts?
No, they look at you. They look at you.
I don't think we look like radio hosts.
They feel sorry. They feel sorry for you.
I don't think you look like a radio host because you wear
A tie.
white shirts and a tie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not sure really what I.
Most radio hosts are a little more portly. They're
Right. Wow.
got a hat on backwards.
Right.
They're scruffy.
Yeah.
Haven't shaved in a while.
All those kinds of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chuck, did you take the red pill this morning
They all.
The red pill.
as opposed to the blue pill?
No.
If you took the blue pill, you can go back to sleep and think whatever you want. The red pill is the one that makes you see the truth. Did you take the red pill this morning?
I mean, I took my normal
Your
7.
normal allotment
My
of
normal
drugs.
7. Yeah.
The red pill makes you see the truth, and the blue pill makes. I don't
Let
know
you go back to sleep and think whatever you want from the Matrix.
Oh, okay.
The red pill and the blue pill.
Okay.
I've not seen this movie.
I have not either.
Missed
Sorry,
opportunity,
Jeff.
gentlemen.
Sorry, Jeff.
You're with the wrong. You're with the wrong people. You're with
Somebody
the
on the chat line can back me up.
Okay. Thoughts, comments, Yates Morning Center.
But I think I hand out the red pills. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I try to do. I try to hand out the truth. Mm-hmm. I'm not.
Hop along Lent and his dude get up with boots and jingly spurs. That would be that'd be funny. That'd be good to see. Now it'd be good if Coach Thrash would bring those spurs in and just kind of set them on the desk, and when Coach Rodriguez comes in and go, nah, not so fast, buddy boy, you got to earn these. Kind of dangle them in front of him a little bit, maybe.
That sounds like something Chuck Heinz would do, not like something Coach Thrash would do.
I don't know. He might. He might take them with him to the Thursday lunch. So anyway, we'll have those, and we'll have the Monterey broadcast for you on the air on Friday night from Lowry Field at on 93.7 The Eagle. Okay, so be looking forward to that. Let me ask you this. Here's a question I don't think you're going to ask us at 7:30. What do you think? Where do you think Tech can get better as we're kind of moving forward in this season, and you get ready for Baylor a week from Saturday, and you're working on things this week? Where do you think this team could get better? Well,
definitely healthier, which would help you dramatically on those two spots on the defensive side of the football, right? Mm-hmm. With your rush ends and your slash outside linebacker and your defensive backs. I think that would be massive. I think you could get better up front, although on the offensive line, although I think we're seeing progress there. So that's been nice to see. So I think you would like to see another running back get more involved a little bit, just because we don't want to see Taj get worn down and beat up and not be at his best near the end of the season. Mm-hmm. So I think that you would probably like to see you can get better by getting one of those younger guys, step it up a notch, so to speak, and give the coaching staff confidence enough to put them in there a little bit more. And I would imagine Taj is going to get a whole lot of rest the next 2 weeks. Yeah. Just not going to take the pounding on his body. Mm-hmm. But I think in that area, as far as just offensively, continuing to, I think your rapport with your receivers and your quarterback is good. I think you're spreading the ball around, which I think is great, and that comes from both the play calling and it comes from the quarterback, buying into the play calling and being able to go through his progressions and all that good stuff. So, offensively, I just, It really, both sides of the ball, I think you can be more physical up front. And every coach is going to say that about every team. No matter how physical they are, he's going to say, I want us to be more physical. But I do think your offensive line is getting better.
Starting to gel, isn't it?
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
Probably so. I mean, we all know
bit.
how difficult it is. We hear those stories from coaches about putting offensive linemen together, and it takes them longer to gel as a unit than other position groups. And so maybe that's what we're starting to see.
You've been really good, and this is just overall in scoring. You've been really good in the first 2 quarters. You scored 73 points in the first, 80 in the second. The third quarter, coming out of the third quarter, you scored 31 and have been outscored by your opponent by 12 points. The opponents have scored 43.
So how do you fix that in a bye week?
I think part of that is, quite candidly, I think part of that is 7s instead of 3s. And I think there's just been some times where your receivers have dropped some balls that have kept you from getting either a touchdown or a first down. So I think you're as good as your receivers have been. I think they can be better.
There's been some drops, yeah. To my question, I would just say be better in the third quarter. I don't know that that's something you can practice. You just got to play better.
Yeah.
Play better.
Same thing in the fourth. You've been outscored 53-45. You've outscored your opponent by 40 some odd points, 236-194. So, it's not been terrible.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
Okay, I'm recycling from yesterday afternoon because I want your guys' opinion on this.
Okay.
I want you to take the 6 remaining games for the Red Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to rank them in order from the easiest to the most difficult, with 6 being the easiest.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
And 1 being the most difficult. And then I'll have an amendment to the question, or an addition to the question.
Okay.
When we're done with this.
Okay. I think 6 is Baylor. 5 is TCU. 4 is Colorado. 3 is Oklahoma State. 2 is West Virginia. And 1 is Iowa State.
Okay, we're really close. And I really could buy into switching to you.
Here's the problem I'm having with this. And Rob asked me a very similar question during the Double T 97.3 Coors Light postgame show at 3:30 in the morning. And that's Oklahoma State. Where do I put them? Because at the beginning of the year, if you asked me, I would put them as your most difficult game. But they have looked not like the most difficult one on your schedule. But you play them so late that they could figure it out by then.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still on the road. And while you got the road win against Arizona that was really, really good, that's 1. I think we'll know more about Oklahoma State and Tech by then, so I will know exactly where they should rank when we get that far, but I can't answer that question in the future yet. So number 1, I've got Baylor. Number 2, I've got Colorado.
How disappointing.
This is easiest. So
easiest, Baylor.
I specifically said easiest at 6 and most difficult
I thought you said
at
easiest.
1.
Far be it for me to be the one that...
I thought you said
just
easiest
chucked.
first.
You just chucked.
I thought you said easiest first. Like your first easiest. Oh.
No, he didn't. I mean, even,
I swear that's what I
got.
I'm sorry.
I mean...
Okay, so hardest game, Iowa State, and I vomit my mouth when I say that because I'm not buying them. But I have to concede what they are right now. Number 2, West Virginia. Number 3, Oklahoma State. Number 4, TCU. Number 5, Colorado. Number 6, Baylor.
Okay, so I'm real close with Chuck. Baylor at 6. Road at TCU at 5. I struggle with the next 3. Okay, I'm going to put Colorado at 4. I have West Virginia at home as 3. I have Oklahoma State on the road at 2. I don't think they're a great football team. Some of what Jeff said, they could get it figured out by then. It's a road game. I mean, just don't know. So I'm still
Well,
nervous.
they could tank.
Yes, absolutely. We could get there, and this could be, a completely better feeling for all of us. Just have no idea. And then, so Oklahoma State 2, and obviously Iowa State 1. You have, Jeff, Colorado as being less difficult than Chuck and I do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's kind of what I've always thought about, like when you think back to the Leach era of Texas Tech football. Even when you weren't the better team on some days, when you have an offense that's high flying and high scoring and all that, you could beat teams that weren't as good as you. And that's what just scares me about Colorado. Like that they have.
I just trust that you're playing at home, and that's going to be an excited crowd. That's going to be a ready to go crowd. That's going to be everyone's going to be pumped up for that game, and you have done well in the Joey McGuire era when you've had those type of situations.
That's fair. I get it. Mm-hmm. I get it. So I do start to, after playing well on the road this past weekend, I do start to. I'm not saying that I'm sitting here today going, you're going to win every road game you got from now till eternity. But I'm saying, okay, maybe you got over that hump, right? Maybe you got over that hump. Maybe they figured out the magic elixir, whatever, to figure out how to play on the road. And so I am a little bit more confident in you going on the road. TCU is another team that we just have. I mean, that team looks like they're ready to quit.
Yeah.
And so that's why they're so high on the list of games that you should be able to win at this point. Okay, so let me ask, this is adding to the question.
Mm-hmm.
How many of those games do you think you're going to win?
See, because here's where I am now. Because I was going to ask this question, so it's kind of part of this question, but
it'll obviously lead us to say how many wins we think we're going to have.
Because I'm going to tell you, I think you win 4 of your next 6. So I'm back to 9 wins.
I'm looking at this schedule. I can't believe I'm thinking this out loud. I'm looking at this schedule, and for what you've gone through and what you have done so far and what you have seen from Baylor and TCU and Oklahoma State and West Virginia.
It's all part of it.
You're gonna tell me that you can't run the table? That you shouldn't run the table? Maybe Iowa State, but I don't believe in the Cyclones. I'm giving them 0 credit until they actually prove it on the field against Tech.
Wow.
Well, I'm not gonna.
Now, I'm not saying that
I'm
you're
not
going to
go with should. I will sit here and say could.
Yeah, and
I wouldn't have said that a week ago.
No, I would definitely not have said that.
So am I about to put you down for 11-1?
No.
Okay.
But I'm looking at this going 1, and that's me trying to pretend Iowa State is going to beat you. I don't think they're going to. I am not buying into the Cyclone hype. Yes, they're 5-0. Yes, they're doing really well. Yes, they're ranked in the top 10. Congratulations, you guys are playing well. I don't trust you as far as I can throw you because I've seen this story before.
So what's your number?
Have you not seen the story of Iowa State against Texas Tech, though?
I have, but we settled that a couple of years. We settled that in the Matt Wells era.
We do have some fun wins against them.
I mean, I can play a 62-yard field goal. That'll make us all feel better.
I guess technically we've won the last 2 against them.
Right. So what's your number, Jeff?
And one of those games you scored a bunch of points.
5 out of 6.
Okay, so now I'm putting you down for 10-2.
Yeah.
Jamie?
And that's insane for me.
I'm comfortably at 4. At 4, so I'm with you at 9.
You're with me at 9 and 3.
I feel comfortable saying 4.
Wow. Okay. There we go. I recorded that.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Here this morning on the Morning Drive. Thank you for being with Jamie, Jeff, and I as we come to you from the First United Bank studio. Look forward to continuing to hear from you in the Yates Flooring Center chat line. I've got some things I'm going to share from you on the Yates Flooring Center chat line with the rest of the class. Thoughts, comments also can be given to us via the Visual Edge IT hotline, 806-771-0973. So I'm just going all the way back here because I have a confession to make to you, Jamie, that I think you might find somewhat funny. This from Sooner in Lubbock. I got to catch the Lady Raiders practice yesterday, Chuck. It was pretty cool. Okay, good.
It's nice.
They had an event last night that I misunderstood, and I signed up for it on Sunday night just to kind of, I wanted to be supportive. It was, it was something that cost, some money, and not very much. It was relatively, that wasn't expensive. It wasn't cheap either. Okay. It was in between. It was Basketball 101. And I thought this was for everybody. Okay. I thought this was kind of like a practice kind of deal, and that they, because they're going to have drinks and snacks and stuff like that. And I kind of debated if I was going to go, and I thought, well, I should go and support the team and support the endeavor. And it was like from 5:30 to 8:30. I thought, well, it'd be kind of a come and go kind of thing. And so I signed up for it, and then it didn't allow me to pay for it right then and there, which thankfully that was good. It kind of kept me from making a further fool of myself. And the lucky lady was kind of helped me with that. She's like, well, let me see if I can help you with this. She goes, you just need to let me do these things. And then she read more of what this event was, and she said, you do realize this is just for women, right? I go, no. It asked me for my shirt size. I gave my shirt size. And she goes, yeah, this is just for ladies. And it was, drills and things like that. Kind of like the football version of this was the Lady Raider version of this. But I thought it was more of a practice and kind of a get to know the Lady Raiders kind of thing. And I thought there'd be some hobnobbing and stuff like that. Watch practice a little bit and see the girls practice and everything like that. That was not the case.
Notice his comments about seeing the girls practice came after
the
hobnobbing.
Well, I mean,
which you get the true vibe of what Chuck's into.
Well, I mean, I just thought it was. I thought it would be good to be supportive and be, contribute to the cause, and just kind of go and all those.
I hope you learned some stuff there. Basketball 101.
I when I discovered that it was not for me per se, I then called the Lady Raider office and said, hey, talked to Leslie over there. Said, hey, Leslie, I signed up for this event, and I didn't realize it was just for the ladies. So I apologize, but I'm not going to be there. And then later on, I got an email saying, we are so excited to have you. It was one of those generic emails that went to everybody that signed up because you put your email on there. So then I responded to that person, to the chief of staff, and I said, hey, I didn't really realize that this was just for women, so I'm not gonna go. I didn't want to be the only dude there.
I would assume that all the women that went would have been excited to meet the voices of Lady Raider basketball. You and Mark could have gone and could have been part of the whole deal.
See, I called Fink. And I said, he of course had no idea what it was because he's smarter than me, because he knew that this wasn't an event for us. Mm-hmm. Okay. And we weren't personally invited, like, hey, we're going to do this, blah, blah, blah. Why don't you come out? So I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and sign up and pay the $75 and go and just, like I said, kind of just contribute to the cause a little bit. But clearly I was wrong about that. So I didn't go.
Well...
But I just wanted to fully disclose
I'm
my
disappointed
error.
Because I wanted you to let us know what you learned.
Bobby Hot Dog says this.
Break down some plays for us.
Sure, yeah, right. Sounds like an excellent event for Chuck to go put on a hook shot clinic.
Yes,
some hands
absolutely.
And pass out some business cards to me.
Yeah, work on his free throws too.
That, right.
Yeah.
Then my dribbling drills, that. All
Chuck,
those.
If you were to have shown up last night,
you would have been welcomed with open arms.
Do you think they would have shunned you?
No, not at all. But I don't think that they needed me to be out on the floor doing drills with them, because it said, wear your sneaks,
Again, if you had shown up, would you have been shunned?
When it said wear your sneaks before you know it was just for females, you were going to show up ready to do some drills?
No, I was not. I was just going to go in my business attire. Okay.
And do drills?
No, I wasn't going to. I wasn't. But when I realized that there was, what's going on, I realized it says, please wear athletic clothing as we'll be on the court doing some fun basketball drills.
So they put them through drills.
They put them through some drills. But
fantastic.
I did not go because I thought because I would have been the only guy there. So I thought that would be inappropriate for me to go. So I didn't go.
If Fink would have gone with you, would you have gone?
Well, sure, but I mean, if Fink would have gone with me, then it would have been an official event, and he would have been invited. I would have had to invite myself, probably, which would have been fine.
You were invited.
Fink would have been comped.
You got invited twice.
Fink would have been comped.
They couldn't wait to see you.
I would have scratched out a check.
They couldn't wait to see you last night. They sent you 2 emails.
They sent me one email. But it was a generic one, and clearly, I mean, it was only because I had signed up for this
Jamie,
deal
did you get this email?
No, because he was.
I didn't get the email either.
He was
you were
smarter
invited.
than me because I'm the one that signed up and put my email address in there because I thought it was something that it wasn't.
I remember seeing on social media at some point, maybe last week, some sort of basketball 101 for the Lady Raiders. Yeah, I do remember seeing it.
And I thought it was. Yeah. I just thought it was. I thought it was going to be more like what we've seen with these opening practices, where they've tried to generate, enthusiasm and stuff like that. And I thought, well, it'd be good for me to go to and just see that and see the girls and all that kind of stuff and watch them practice a little bit.
If baseball had a similar thing, would you go to that?
Yeah, I think so.
And wear your cleats and get out there.
I'd have to find my glove. I don't have any cleats per se.
If Tadlock
I don't know that
Gardner
wear my
and Goot
cleats.
and them were putting you through some drills, you would go do that? A left-handed shortstop. I see it right now. Yeah.
I'm offended at anybody that's a first baseman that's right-handed. Somebody says this Lady Raider 101 was a great event. Excellent. I'm glad it was. Would
have been greater if Chuck had come too.
I think they would have looked at me like, hey, this isn't for you, but you can stay. I did feel a little sheepish about. I missed the mark there. I missed the mark.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet973.com.